This is what it looks like when I cook and make things for myself when I need healthy-ish food. You know, on this channel, I love to cook comfort food and sometimes try trending food, but a lot of the times, this is what I'm eating at home when I'm cooking for myself or my family. So I've put together a compilation of some of my morning drinks and whole food meals that I make for myself when I'm craving something healthy, and it may inspire you. Here's another morning drink that is one of my favorites, a black soybean milk. And I'm going to be using my soy milk maker. You can probably use a nut milk blender for this. And I'm putting the ingredients on the screen. And I soak these overnight. You're going to drain it. And I'm adding it right into my little soy milk maker. Here's the black sesame seeds going in, 2 dates. And now I'm going to just close that and let it do its thing. So comment down below if you love to start your day with a drink. I typically do not have a big appetite in the morning, so I sort of just wake up and then I'll make a drink. And then for breakfast, it's typically around like lunchtime when I actually eat something. So I love this machine because it's self-cleaning and I love this. It's so good. So I'm probably going to start filming some of the different soy milks or just blends that I use and drink in the morning. Here is another favorite that I make all the time, and this is just celery, carrot, apple, orange, ginger, water, salt, and I like to sweeten this to taste. It's so good, and I typically eyeball everything when I do this, and I just make this juice in my blender. A lot of you probably are thinking, just get a juicer, and I would, but I just don't want to spend money on another gadget that I have to find space for. I have so many gadgets in my kitchen, but this is so good. Make breakfast with me. Mornings are for piano and breakfast. Sometimes the music is calming, but right now it's the Allegro soundtrack of the day. I'm going to start with leftover steamed potatoes because I like to use what I've got and repurpose yesterday's dinner for breakfast. I'm going to use the last 2 eggs in the house. Sorry guys. And someone commented one time, they asked why do I use chopsticks to scramble eggs or beat eggs, and this is why. I get to remove the parts that I don't like, and then I get to whisk it up. In my air fryer basket, I'm adding the potatoes into this greased liner, season it. I'm going to add the egg, and then on top, I'm going with some Parmesan cheese. I love to eyeball a good breakfast in the air fryer. Going in 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 to 12 minutes. And when it's done, it's time for breakfast. And if you want other air fryer breakfast ideas, I will link a related video that you can check out in long form. So garnish with scallions and it's time to eat. Honestly, this is better than the first time I made it. Next, I'm going to show you how I love to make sardines. So take sardines, jalapeno, garlic, tomato, and onion. You're going to chop it up, dice it up however you like. Here I'm going to add a little bit of this yellow onion, and into the pan I'm going to add the oil from the sardines, and I'm going to saute everything in that. Add some salt and pepper and cook that. I'm also going to season with this seasoning blend. You can just add salt and pepper. And now for the sardines, and I'm really not overly cooking this, I'm just warming this through because I love a nice warm meal, and it looks like this. Into this dish, now I'm adding some fresh avocado, and I'm also going to add a soft boiled egg. Season it with salt, pepper, crushed red pepper flakes. I love a tostada, but today I have toast, and it's time to dig in. And this is one of my favorite ways to make sardines. I'm probably going to be doing this all summer long. It's so good. I will admit, sardines is something that I grew up eating with crackers or just in meals, but now it is kind of pricey. I don't know. What do you think? Let me show you another easy meal that I love to make for myself that's so delicious. Time for more sweet potatoes. By the way, I had to trim this one because it kind of spoiled on the ends, but Let me show you the breakfast I've made 3 times this week. So I'm starting off with some cottage cheese and 2 large eggs. I'm just going to crack 2 eggs into a blender here with the cottage cheese. I'm going to season with garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. Season how you like. I've seen people do Italian or oregano, and just blend that until it is all blended and pureed together. I'm going to take some cooking oil and spread it on a baking sheet and then put my parchment paper so it'll stick, and then a little more cooking oil because I don't want things to stick, and now pour over the mixture. Now, what you don't want to do is what I did in this video. Try not to spread it too thin. You want it kind of thick. And then you're going to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 to 15 minutes or until it looks like this. So it should be easy to peel off of the parchment paper, and I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces because it's 2 servings, myself and my son, and fill it with what you like. I like to add some everything bagel seasoning and crushed red pepper flakes on top of avocado. And then I'm going to add slices of turkey breast meat, some lettuce, and sometimes I add tomato and cucumber, but this is the wrap, and it's so good. Let me show you the quick and easy way I make Yubuchobap. And that is basically fried tofu squares filled with a seasoned cooked rice. I have some microwavable rice. I'm adding furikake, tuna, and a little bit of sesame oil. I'm going to mix, give it a taste. And these are the square fried tofu pouches. You can mix it with that seasoning that it comes with. I sort of dried it off and just use as is. But that's it, some black sesame seeds, and this is a tasty meal. I'm going to make several of these, and I'm probably going to share this. If I had a fresh avocado, I'd probably add that too, but this is what I'm working with. Olive Garden salad, right at home. Quarter cup of white distilled vinegar. 2 tablespoons water. I like to use just this Italian dressing recipe mix. It's the seasoning. Half teaspoon of sugar. I'm going to mix that. Half a cup of olive oil. Tablespoon or 2 of mayonnaise. If you need to adjust salt, pepper, if you want to add some garlic powder into the mix, or crushed red pepper flakes, do so and taste it and adjust to your preference. Okay, here I have red onion, black olives, pepperoncini, and tomato. With the olive. Parmesan cheese, black pepper. Today's lunch, lahmacun. This is Turkish pizza. It's like a Middle Eastern style pizza. I get these pre-made at, I believe it's called the Phoenicia. It is a specialty grocery store in Houston, Texas that I love to go to. It's so good. But this is probably like one of my top 10 favorite things. I really love these. My son and I, it's like one of our favorites. So good. And then I just sort of made this like garlic yogurt with parsley and salt. Onion. Veggies that go on this. I've seen like people create like red onion, parsley, some olive oil, things like that. I just sort of threw this together with what I had in the fridge. Here we are. It's the best. Let me show you one of my favorite ground beef dinners that I keep on repeat. Cold pan. I like to add some water, seasoning, break it apart, let it render its own fat. Have some frozen roasted sweet potato. Let's make some jammy eggs. 50 milliliters of water. Put that there. Cover with the lid. Okay, let it cook. So the ground beef will look like this. Eventually, it'll look like this. I've got my little Okinawa sweet potatoes. These were like from a small batch. I've got cottage cheese. I'm going to do a couple spoons. Ground beef. I'm having avocado, tomatoes, flaky sea salt, crushed red pepper flakes. Oh, perfect. I love a good runny, jammy egg. And this is dinner. I don't even know what day it is, but I want a sandwich. Rotisserie. I'm gonna chop up red onion, tomato, a jalapeno, 2 avocados, and a cucumber. Okay, so I've chopped all the chicken going into the bowl. Let's make a dressing. Just rip this open. It's not going to be fancy. It's going to be good. This is a different spin on chicken salad. Going in for a bite. Now, if there's one thing that I'm going to always make in my house is roasted tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches. Oh my God. To start, I'm going to prep a baking sheet with oil and parchment paper. Adding the oil first, then sticking the parchment paper helps to keep it down. Now I'm going to add a variety of tomatoes. You could use the combination of fresh tomatoes that you prefer. These are what I had. It's around 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. These are Campari and Sugar Bomb tomatoes, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so I'm also going to add 1 shallot that I cut in half. And I'm also going to add 2 cloves of garlic. The amounts are up to you. Now I'm going to add like a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add a little more cooking oil. I'm using avocado oil. Mix it and pop it into a preheated oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit and let it roast for about 20 minutes. And all of these should be roasted, a little bit of charring, and a lot of the juice has released. I'm going to carefully remove all of the stems from the tomatoes. And now I'm going to carefully lift the parchment paper with all the liquid and tomatoes carefully, and I'm just going to pour it right into my blender cup. These tomatoes are really juicy, but if you want extra liquid, add some chicken broth. So now I'm going to season with salt, a little bit of dried thyme, a little shake of dried basil leaves. Again, the amount is up to you. Here I'm going to add just a pinch of crushed red pepper flakes. And I love to add smoked paprika. Again, just a couple of dashes. Here I'm going to add some cracked black pepper. Sometimes I like to add a little pinch of chicken bouillon powder. Again, it's up to you. Now blend. Once it has pureed well, you can serve. It's as easy as that, and it's so good. I already have my grilled cheese almost done, and my kids are hungry. I'm back with my cabbage, and I'm going to show you this easy cabbage meal that is one of my favorites. I'm starting off with some butter, and I'm going to saute these big chunks of like cabbage steak in this pan. I'm going to season it with a seasoning blend. You can use salt and pepper. I'm going to add more butter, and then I'm just going to give these a flip. I'm going to season this side with some more of that seasoning and add some water. I'm going to cover with a lid and let that soften and cook. And then I'm going to add heavy cream and Parmesan cheese. I'm going to mix and combine that well, let it gently simmer for a couple of more minutes, and it looks like this, and it's done. It's time to serve. Serve over potatoes, over rice. This is also a great side for baked chicken. However you choose to eat it, I certainly hope you try it because it's so good.